My brother slept with my girlfriend of 3 years, got her pregnant before we even broke up, and secretly married her at a courthouse while I was away at college. Later, he called me laughing and said, "You snooze, you lose. She picked the better brother." That was the day I cut them both out of my life for good. I was 21 when it happened, a junior at an Ivy League university. Elena was my first real love, brilliant, warm, driven toward medical school. We'd been together since high school, making long-distance work. We had a 5-year plan: graduate, build careers, she'd finish med school, then marriage and a life together. My brother Mason was 2 years younger, still at a local college. The comparison was always there, unspoken but obvious. During winter break of my junior year, Mason announced he was keeping Elena company while I studied. "She gets lonely with you gone all the time," he said. I thanked him for being thoughtful. The signs were everywhere. Elena stopped answering calls quickly. Her voice grew distant. In February, she flinched when I touched her shoulder. Then the call came on a Thursday in March. "I'm pregnant," she said. "It's Mason's. We've been seeing each other since Christmas. I'm sorry, but I love him. We're getting married next week." Click. 3 years compressed into a dial tone. I called Mason the next morning. He was laughing. "She told me she'd been faking it with you for months," he said. "Said you were boring. You snooze, you lose, big brother." When I confronted him at our parents' house, he shrugged. "Get over it." My parents stood there in silence. I walked out and didn't speak to them for months. I moved away, built a new life, met Sophia, and we had a daughter, Lucia. Mason and Elena had 2 sons, Noah and Elias. I sent cards with cash when they were born, never signed them. 25 years passed. Then 3 years ago, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Months, not years. We met at a diner. He looked gray, fading. He told me he should have said something back then. That silence had eaten at him for nearly 30 years. Then he told me everything. Mason didn't just steal Elena, he controlled her. My father had seen bruises on her arms, her wrists, once even on her face, hidden under makeup. Dad confronted Mason once. Mason threatened to cut them off from the grandchildren entirely, so my father stayed quiet. But he documented everything. He found proof Mason had intercepted letters Elena wrote to me in the year after the marriage, begging me to understand what really happened, asking me to come find her and help her escape. Mason had kept them like trophies in his garage. Dad also found Mason's journal detailing his entire plan to take Elena from me. Nothing spontaneous, completely calculated. Then came the worst part. Elena's younger brother Daniel had discovered the abuse. He confronted Mason and threatened to help Elena leave. 2 weeks later, Daniel was dead. They called it a hiking accident, a fall from a cliff. But Mason had been on that trail the same day. Witnesses saw them arguing near the edge. Dad found threatening messages from Mason to Daniel. "Stay out of this, or something bad will happen." Dad spent years collecting evidence, made copies, and stored them in a safety deposit box. He gave everything to a district attorney, with instructions to wait until after the funeral. "When the time comes," Dad said, sliding me a manila envelope, "make this right." Dad died on a Tuesday. The funeral was Saturday. At the reception, my daughter tried to push reconciliation, saying whatever happened was almost 30 years ago, and that I should let it go. She led me to their table. We made small talk. Then she looked at me expectantly. That's when I said it. "I know what you did to Daniel." Their faces drained of color. "Everything," I continued. "And Dad knew too. He made sure the right people would find out when the time came." The room went silent. I walked out. An hour later, my mother called, sobbing. I told her to check the safety deposit box. Elena called next. "What did your father tell you?" "Everything." Silence, then she whispered, "Thank you." Mason's son Noah called. "Is it true?" "Yes." "Mom's leaving," he said. "Finally." Within 24 hours, everything collapsed. My mother opened the deposit box. Inside were the letters, fraud documents, text messages, and my father's detailed records of every bruise. That afternoon, my mother helped Elena escape. The prosecutor called. There was enough to reopen Daniel's case. Mason was arrested a week later on fraud, forgery, and obstruction charges. Elena filed for divorce. A restraining order was granted. My mother split the house proceeds with Elena. 28 years, 1 funeral. Justice finally served.